So I'm going to get right into our first guest. We can't even go back to the tape. Oh, well, that's fine. We don't need to hear about my job history. How are you this evening, Juliette Miranda?
I am doing amazing. How are you? It's so great to be talking to you, finally.
Yes, and it's great to be talking to you. I've been better, but but that's only because of the technological snafu I just went through.
It happens to all of us. It does.
Oh yeah. Can't believe that. Well, I should have known. I was asking the chat. They weren't saying anything to me. And I thought they can be kind of a fun bunch. So I thought maybe they were pulling my leg. Oh, this is going to be fun. I get to spell the Unwritable Rant. So bear with me here. But well, how are you this evening?
I'm amazing. It's a Tuesday night. It is my first night with a cigar of the season. I'm really excited about this. I always enjoy the first and last cigar the most.
Ah, yes. What are we smoking tonight?
Arturo Fuentes.
Oh, one of my favorites.
Yes. Yeah. David, my producer, picked it out for me. He knows more about cigars than I do, and I'm loving this.
I love a woman who will take a stogie, man. And
whiskey.
And that wasn't a sexual innuendo at all. So
I would never have assumed. Why would you even bring that up?
I don't know. I mean, is it too late to bring up a Clinton joke? Really?
No, have at it.
I already did and it flopped. So I'm gonna go with that. So yeah, I've been wanting you on the show for a long time. David's been on several times, both one-on-one and in panels. And I've told him over and over, and he might have told you as well, that I'm a huge fan of your podcast. And it is the only podcast that I listen to. I'm not ashamed to admit. So kudos. It's so well done.
Oh, I really appreciate that. Thank you. I mean, I put a lot of work, a lot of writing into making it, sound and the stories sound as good as they can. And I know David is an incredible editor, so I love to hear that. Yeah, well, you're a fantastic storyteller, I must say. And I'm going to continue to stroke you on this because it really is fun. Of course, everyone in the back of their mind is wondering how much is factual and how much is embellished. And you don't have to say, because it's sometimes the mystique is very important. I get it. So, I'll tell you, the only thing I really make up are the names of the people. They're all true people. It's all true experiences. These are things that have really happened to me through the course of my life. I just change names and a little bit of the details to make sure that it doesn't come back to haunt me or anybody else. Good plan. Very good plan. Very good plan. Well, that's cool. That means you've lived already, and you're still young comparatively. A pretty adventurous life. Well, I'm in my 40s, and I started writing about musicians when I was 14. So it's a lot of writing. Now, would you consider yourself? I know Crazy Town is your friend's name. What were you guys, maybe because I haven't listened to some of the earlier stuff, would you have considered yourself groupies of sorts, or just, dating members of bands? Oh, yeah, no, I always considered myself to be a groupie, but just slightly better than the rest of them, only because I found a different way in. I didn't necessarily use sex as my way in. I used writing as my way in. So that was how I scored my first band interview. Was posing as a rock journalist, and I actually wrote it up and it got published, and from there I'm like, well, hey, this is working out great for all of us. I get to share my feelings about music and interview bands, and the sex just kind of came after the fact. That is too cool. What a creative way to go into that. Now, are you classically trained in writing? Did you go to school for it, or is it something you just picked up? I am. I started writing when I was just a kid. It's something that's always come naturally to me, that I've always loved. And, now it's made me into a great storyteller. I love writing. I love Hemingway and Bukowski and Fitzgerald. It's who I am. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, Patty says, you do not look like you're in your 40s. And I would have to agree with that, Patty. Absolutely. Mid-40s.
High class of groupie is what Ed says.
I like to hear that. Thank you.
Well, I mean, it is, right? I mean, if you're not throwing yourselves, which I would consider probably the lower class of groupie, right? And I don't say that in a disparaging way as a as a musician myself, although my entire music career I was married, but you know, there are a place for those groupies as well on both sides. But
absolutely. I mean, if you've ever seen Almost Famous, I mean, a lot of these girls, they inspired the music. You know, they take these guys out on their own personal journey. It's an entire ecosystem of music and, you know, love. It all comes together.
Yeah. Speaking of which, what would be your favorite groupie song? Because, you know, there have been several written about groupies.
Gosh, you know, I don't even know if I could really name one. I've never really thought of groupie songs as a thing. I mean, maybe Maggie May, but
yeah,
it's not something I've ever really considered.
The only reason I say that is because one of the most well-known ones would be, and I don't even think she considers herself a groupie, but Plastercaster by Kiss. You remember that?
Sure, Cynthia Plastercaster.
Yes.
Talk about the greatest, you know, crazy groupie gig on the planet. I mean, just making those casts. I mean, she had an in. Now that is a groupie who's slightly better than the rest.
Well, she had a niche, right? She had a hook.
She did. Yeah, you know, I just write. She had a serious art form.
Yes, and I think she continues to display it to this day. Which,
right? I mean, Frank Zappa. I mean, amazing people. She's pretty cool.
Yeah. I've read a lot of her stuff, and only because of the song actually got me interested. I thought, you know, I'd like to know a little bit more about her. So
I would too. I haven't really. I mean, I've read "I'm with the Band" by Pamela DeBar. You know, I've read all the other groupie books, and she's always mentioned in them, but I really don't know a whole lot about her personally.
Yeah. But what a fascinating thing, right? But I want to talk more about your podcast. How did you get started with that? What made, I know you're right, but what made you turn that into, for lack of a better term, today's audiobook?
Well, so like I said, I've always been a writer, and I published a book back in 2009 about some of my experiences working in the music industry, and the book did great. You know, I went on a book tour, and I was promoted through Barnes and Noble, but for a few years in between that and the start of the podcast, I was just kind of floundering. You know, it became obvious that people weren't really reading, and I still had a ton of stories that I wanted to tell. And one day, you know, my guy and I are just sitting out on the driveway, and we're listening to the Bill Burr podcast. He's a comedian and just one of my favorite podcasters and comedians on the planet. And I'm listening to it, and I don't know, something just hit me. And I said, wow, you know, I can do this. I mean, this is cool. You know, I can tell stories, and I can do this. And, you know, David, who, you know, is a former musician himself, he's got a bunch of recording gear in the house. He's like, well, let's make it happen. Let's try it out. And this was about 4 years ago. And it came together. You know, it was a whim, and it worked out really well.
Yeah. And the most important thing is you're doing something you really love. Twice, actually. You get to write it, and then you get to portray it. That's awesome.
Actually, you know, the podcast, I kind of do, it's a combination. It's part ad lib and it's part outline. So I spend a couple of days outlining the stories I want to tell and mapping out some lines and everything. But for the most part, it's kind of, you know, off the cuff.
Really? Oh, that's even better. That means you're a great storyteller as well, off the cuff.
I'm very well rehearsed, I will give you that much.
Okay. That explains a lot. Because it does sound, I mean, it sounds really polished. And I know David's probably doing a lot of the editing on the backside as well. Is that right?
Yeah. David makes an amazing producer. You know, I would never trust anybody else. I mean, and in case your listeners don't know, David and I are married. So David knows my voice, and he knows the stories that, you know, I have in my head and that I want to tell, and he knows how to really bring out the best in what I do.
Well, the sound is great too. Do you guys have an in-home studio, or do you have a studio? Do you?
We built an entire podcast studio out of a spare bedroom. You know, it started in a pillow fort, essentially. You know, we kind of just built out a little nook in our area and lined it up with blankets and everything, and now we've built it out so that it's soundproofed, and we have great gear. I couldn't begin to tell you what kind of gear we have because that's not my area, but David would be happy to expound on that. He knows all the good stuff.
Well, next time he's on, I'll pick his brain on that one.
You're gonna have to. Yeah, it's a microphone and stuff.
Well, you don't have to worry about it. You got to worry about your story, especially if you're ad-libbing. So.
Right, that's my job.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if you guys aren't familiar with Juliette's channel, and I know most of my group has seen this site before. This is actually more centered around your bourbon reviews, your soaked life, and celebrity interviews, which are as exciting to me. I've watched the last two, the Kansas lead singer, and I always forget his name. What was his name? The lead singer from Kansas?
Ron Platt.
And of course, Joe Bob Briggs, which I missed the live stream. That was your first live stream ever. I missed watching it live. That sucked, but.
Joe Bob Briggs, that was an interview that's come from where I began. I mean, my dad and I used to stay up late when I was like 8, 9 years old, and we would watch Joe Bob on TMC. And he's just been a part of my life, and I love horror movies, and it was so cool to sit down with him and just like meet him in person and talk to him. It was an incredible experience. I'm so glad I got to do that.
Yeah, he looked like he was a great guest. No shortage of stories coming from that guy, right?
Not at all. I mean, and what I didn't get to touch on that I would have loved to is that he's actually been nominated for a Pulitzer Prize. He's not just a horror movie critic. The man is a writer.
Oh, wow.
He went to Vanderbilt University. He got his start in sports writing. He was nominated for the Pulitzer for his coverage of 9/11. So he's an incredible writer just as himself.
Wow. That's very cool. And of course, that just goes into you've had no shortage of great guests in addition to him. Mike Rowe. Yeah. What was Mike Rowe? I didn't get to watch that one. I want to watch it now. But Mike Rowe, how did that go?
Mike Rowe was the scariest interview I've ever done. The man is so smart. He's now on CNN, but he got to start doing, dirty jobs. And you could listen to the man read the phone book. He just has a great voice. He's so smart. And I went into such a preparation mode when I went into the interview. I wanted to make sure that I could match that level. But it turned out great. He was so nice. He has some great stories. He talks about writing a podcast while sitting on the toilet. It was a blast talking to him.
Oh, I can only imagine. I've watched a lot of his stuff, and he seems like the most personable guy that you'd ever, really, as a celebrity, that you'd ever want to see.
He is, absolutely, and just so welcoming. Like, you always go in an interview and you never know what the person's going to be like, if they're going to be friendly, if they're going to open up to you. And he was gracious right from the start.
And you, of course, have several other wonderful folks in here. I see Eric Roberts.
I do.
Yeah.
And those are just
Leah Thompson? How did I miss Leah Thompson? Oh, I so had a thing for Leah in the early days. Before, before Back to the Future. Oh man, I got to go back and watch that one now.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, how are you hooking up with these folks? Is it people you know, people that know those people, or?
Not at all. No, David, my producer, reaches out to either their publicists or their management, and if they have something that they're interested in promoting, then we work up a pitch. We'll use the podcast or the YouTube channel as a platform for them to talk about whatever projects they have going on.
Very cool. Hey guys, if you've got any questions for Juliette, by all means, throw them in the chat and make sure that you tag me so I can see them.
And speaking of celebrities, so we were teasing when we had you offline about somebody who had liked one of your recent posts on Twitter.
Yes.
Tawny Kitaen.
Oh.
Yeah, if you'll recall, we posted a video of her talking to me about, sliding across the hood of a car. She's got this, we had a dialogue going back and forth, and she actually saw your tweet to her. And like that, she liked some other stuff. So I just thought you'd get a kick out of hearing about that.
I do get a kick hearing that. Her actually replying to you seemed as much as a surprise, wasn't it?
David arranged it. I don't know how he does some of these things. He just knows I'm a huge Tawny fan, and he, talked to her about the podcast, so she recorded a little thing for us.
Well, let's be real. You two could be sisters.
We could. Yeah, obviously I've taken a little bit of a, thing from her.
Probably a little bit distant, too, because, and I don't want to disparage Tawny at all, but she's got to be maybe in her 60s? Early 60s?
No, I don't think she's quite that old. I think when she was in the Whitesnake video, she was probably in her 20s.
Okay, so she's probably got about 5 years on me. She's probably coming close to 60 then.
Probably right around there.
Yeah. But oh boy, that video. And I meant every word of it. I mean, it did launch 1,000 blanks, but
who doesn't love Tawny Kitaen, really, though? I mean, she was the hottest groupie of the 80s.
Oh man, was she ever? That's so cool that she replied to that tweet. Or liked it, I'm sorry. That is cool. And now I'm embarrassed.
Oh.
No, not really. I'm very, very pleased. I'd love to have her on the show as well. Wouldn't that be fun if you two were on and we could compare side by side? That would be awesome.
I could trade notes on musicians.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
I would put one of you on this side and the other one on the other side, and I'd just sit back and talk as a, in the cloud.
Yeah, I don't know if we can actually put that out there. I don't know if either of us want all that out there, because when I do my podcast, I change names.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you guys would keep it clean. And yeah. Well, we just got to keep the alcohol out of it. Speaking of alcohol, and going back to your site, you are all about the bourbon. And I almost forgot to ask you about this because I'm a fan, but I don't know as much as I want to know about good bourbons.
Well, bourbon is, gosh, in a weird sort of way, it's been a part of my life since birth. And I'll tell you why. My parents were very old school when it comes to child rearing. And when I was teething, they actually used to rub a little bit of bourbon on my bottle to my gums. So I joke that this is, it's inherent, it's ingrained. That I love bourbon, but I do, and I love talking about it. I love tasting it and drinking it, and that's why we started the YouTube channel, was so that I could kind of expand on, the flavors and, the profiles and what I like to drink.
Very cool. What would be a good mid-level bourbon? Because I can't take the Wild Turkeys, the Jim Beams, the Canadian Clubs, all that garbage. What would be? Recently, I just bought some Woodford Reserve, and I dig that. But I don't know where that lands on the scale.
Let me ask you this: what kind of flavors do you like? What do you normally drink when you don't drink something like bourbon?
Porters. I like a really dark, heavy beer.
Like a dark, heavy beer. Okay. Mm-hmm. And if you were to drink a mixed cocktail, what would you order?
Oh, I never do. Unless I'm on vacation, like in Aruba.
It would be like a tropical drink.
It might be, but I just don't order mixed drinks at all.
So when you drink a dark beer, what is it that you like? Is it the bitter flavor that you like? Is it the heaviness?
I like the heaviness. I like a smoky finish, like a good bourbon, because you can get some really nice porters to just knock your socks off in that direction. And yeah, but I do like I don't like too much bitterness in a beer, but it's okay if it's got a nice burn in a bourbon, of course.
So you're drinking the Woodford, and you like the Woodford?
Yeah, it's decent. I mean, it's a great sipping whiskey. Sure.
Okay, so you want something. So are you lacking a sweetness, or are you lacking a spiciness to your bourbon?
Not sweetness, because I don't really go for the sweet anything, especially a beer. But I don't know. I want to taste the barrel. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah. No, it absolutely makes sense. So what you want is something that's going to be a little bit more aged. What I would suggest is Russell's Reserve 10-year bourbon.
Shit, now I got to write that down.
Now, you're going to be surprised to learn that this is actually from the Wild Turkey family.
I wouldn't, because I used to like wild turkey when I was young and dumb.
Well, you know what? Wild Turkey is actually an excellent bourbon if you drink it right.
I was right.
It's very spicy bourbon, and I think that's kind of what people respond to when they hear Wild Turkey. They go, "Ooh, ow!" It burns. Mm-hmm. But if you drink it with a little bit of ice, it kind of mellows it out. But the Russell's Reserve 10-year has been aged 10 years. So you're going to get a little bit more oakiness out of it. It's going to mellow out the spice, but you're going to get a really well-rounded flavor out of it.
Awesome. I'm definitely going to try that. I love getting suggestions on bourbons. Love it.
And it's totally reasonably priced. It's maybe like $40 a bottle.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
It beats the Canadian Club.
Oh, yes. Oh, every day.
And I don't want to go to jail again. Long story. Oh, man. Wisco Style wants me to ask you that if you get YouTube famous, can he come on the podcast?
I have no idea if I'm going to get YouTube famous. I don't even know what that is, but if I do, we'll absolutely make you a part of it.
Yeah, that's the measure. It's the metric there. We've got to figure out what is absolutely famous.
And Wisco's already had his own success anyway. I mean, he's got a video that is booming right now.
Yes. Did you? I think he chatted in another live stream we were in that he grew 1,500 subs. No, it was in 15 days. How many subs, Wisco, when you get a chance in 15 days did you just post? It was just extraordinary.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, well done, right?
Yeah. And now he's doing the right thing. He's putting out some great content afterwards. If you guys get a chance, watch his "If Donald Trump Was from Wisconsin" video. That is killer. Yeah, 1,515 days. Jesus, that's awesome. Oh, she's 58, says Jim from Above and Beyond Drones. Tawny is 58 nowadays.
Oh, see, we were like right there.
Yeah. Well, I had her pegged in the 60s, and I don't know why. Maybe it was because when I did lust after, early years for me, she seemed older. You know what I mean? I was trying to do the math from there, and then ever
unattainable.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like watching the Brady Bunch. For you, it was probably a little bit different, but for me, they always seemed like they were much older, and it turns out they were all born around my year.
No, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Really strange. Hello, Lane. How are you? Team Enigma. He says he drinks his orange juice on the rocks.
Ooh.
Well done. He's a younger guy. He's not going to have any bourbon. Busy Little House. I don't know if I've ever seen you in here. Welcome to the show. Did I miss anyone else? Mike Durr Digest Magazine. Welcome from all of us. Ghana. How you doing? Sorry, I just want to make sure that I catch all these folks. Juliette, American Gold Prospectors. Welcome to the show. Ah, sweet. Yeah, we had a raid. Oh, Jesse Mendez is here too. And Tony from View This. We had a raid from Ed, Flash in Your Pan. You've probably seen some of his stuff as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's only been on the show 9 times one-on-one and then several panels. Ed by far has the record. David's not too far behind. I think David's up to 3 and a bunch of panels.
I think late night, my guy kind of, hops on every panel he can.
Oh yeah. And I can't thank you and or both of you for helping me get Michael Price on the show. That was awesome.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, happy to. And how nice is he? I mean, just a great guest and so open about everything that he does.
He really is. I had a great time. I hope he did too. I tried not to keep him too long.
No, he seemed to really be into it. So I think you did a great job with him.
Oh, thank you.
Idea for him.
And David is signaling me from across the room that he says we have something else that he wants to talk to you about.
Oh, tonight or later?
Could be tonight.
Anytime. I have no idea. I don't know.
Another guest. We'll talk about it offline. Yeah.
I know exactly talking about. Oh my gosh, you need to have this person on your show. He will be a blast.
Sweet.
It's a musician, and he's super cool.
Oh, really? He's a musician?
I will tell you who it is.
Okay.
And you can just take it for what it is. But his name is Jim Peterick. He is the founding member of Survivor. And he has not just written Eye of the Tiger. He's written like every other song from the 80s that you know. He's an amazing guy.
One of those, yeah. Oh, that would be cool. And I would promise not to talk about Eye of the Tiger for half an hour.
Oh, no. He loves to talk about. We actually just spent the weekend with him, and I know exactly why my guy is bringing him up, because we just we hung out with him. We had this whole thing with him last weekend, and he loves to talk about Eye of the Tiger. So.
Oh, well, cool. I don't know if I'll be able to come up with enough stuff for half an hour of Eye of the Tiger, but I'll give it the old college try. That's for sure. Outdoorsy gal. Her name's Chrissy. Wants to know, Juliette, what was your most embarrassing moment on camera?
Okay, I'll tell you my most embarrassing moment that was sort of on camera, and this is back when I lived in Los Angeles, and it was my first huge professional job where I had to talk about music and I had to do news and everything, and it was my first day on the job, and they're taking me for a tour of the studio. And it was the most professional studio I'd ever been in. It was beautiful, just state-of-the-art equipment. And about an hour before they took me on this tour, I had gone out to lunch at this really sketchy, kind of Los Angeles dive, and I had some sort of weird sandwich. It was a chicken salad sandwich, and you probably know where this is going by saying chicken salad.
I think so.
They're walking me through the studio, and I just start to feel that horrible rumble. just that, oh, this isn't good kind of rumble. And they're showing me where I'm going to be sitting, and they're showing me my monitors and everything, and just I couldn't contain myself, and I was so I was trying so hard to be professional. I'm wearing this little suit, a little skirt and heels and the little suit jacket and everything, and I'm trying so hard to excuse myself, and they kept talking to me, and I couldn't get away, and out of nowhere I threw up all over the set. Just projectile exorcist vomiting all over the set with the worst case of food poisoning I have ever had in my life.
Oh no.
Mortifying. I've never ever been more embarrassed than I was right then and there. It was horrible.
Oh, well, yeah. Oh God.
I mean, this was supposed to be my big break, know,
right.
and I'm just this little 20-something, on this set, my first big set, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die, and just, it was horrible.
Did it turn out okay though?
Well, I mean, it turned out okay for the moment. I was forgiven, and they're like, oh, it happens to everybody, and then 6 months later, I was laid off. So. Oh
well, yeah, that happens. Yeah. Thanks, Brad. He's pumping my merch. That's awesome.
Great.
I got my first Subscribe Star patron just yesterday.
Oh, well done.
That was awesome. But Life Trip Travels wants to know. She says, I recently had Ezra 7 bourbon or something like that. What do you think of Ezra or Ezra bourbon?
Ezra, I'm not sure if I'm familiar with that.
Easy A, or yeah, I've never heard of it myself.
I'm not sure if I know what that is. Is it from a specific region or area, or can you give a little bit more info about it? Maybe I've heard something about it.
Ezra Brooks, maybe?
Ezra Brooks.
Oh, and they do have Old Ezra 7-year barrel strength review. Old Ezra.
It sounds familiar, but I don't think I can actually comment on it specifically. I don't know. I'm sorry. I just don't know.
Okay. Well, it might be something you want to try. It looks like it's anywhere from 50 to 90 a bottle. Looks like prices vary considerably, but it sounds like it might be right in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll see what I can find. I'll do a tasting on it.
There you go, Life Trip Travels. You just influenced a bourbon review. Hell, I want to try it now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always up for new bourbon.
Do you find that the price in many ways dictates the quality?
Oh no, not at all.
Okay.
No, there are a lot of craft bourbons that are overpriced, and I understand why, because it takes a lot of work to make bourbon. It really does. I mean, just to, especially if you're going from grain to bottle, there's the whole science behind it and the aging and all of that. But even sourced bourbons can be a little bit overpriced. You get an older bourbon and they might finish it in a specific kind of barrel. So price does not dictate flavor at all.
Oh, good. Well, that's good to know. And I'm sure that that is information helpful for other budding bourbon drinkers.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, don't buy a $200 bottle of bourbon thinking it's going to be the greatest thing you've ever had. It may not be. Yeah,
I can see that. Absolutely. Perfect. Well, Juliette, I have another guest, and sure. If you don't mind, can we have you back on the show sometime? Actually, you know what? No, you're not getting away that easy.
What? You're keeping me here? I don't see zip ties.
Well, I have yet to do a deep dive with you.
It's true.
Are you ready for a deep dive?
What are you thinking here? I'm in. I'm up ready.
Well, let's just do it then.
All right.
Deep dive.
Are you not familiar with the deep dive? Because it sounds like you're not familiar with the deep dive.
I've heard rumors, but bring it on. I'm up ready.
All right. In my hand, I have here a sheet with 5 questions chosen just for you. Now, you have to remember that there are no bad answers. They're just bad hosts and bad judges. Okay. But we're going to ask you these 5 questions to get to know more about you than maybe even your neighbor's cat. Are you ready?
I'm all ready. Bring it on.
All right, let's go.
Question 1.
This is easy. Remember, you can't fail this, and it's not a quiz. I've actually had people study like, oh man, what am I going to answer? All right, first question. What is your favorite day of the week?
Favorite day of the week?
Favorite day of the week.
I like Wednesdays.
Wednesday, hump day. Got to give you that one. Very well done.
It's the middle of the week. I'm halfway through outlining the podcast, and I know that coming up, I have my endpoint. So
there's a bit of relief, right?
Yeah.
See, I told you these questions aren't hard, but they may get harder as we go on. Are you ready?
Uh-oh. I'm ready. Bring it on.
Question 2.
All right. The nickname your parents used to call you when you were younger.
Squirrely.
Only you would know. See? You're 2 for 2 already.
Yeah, my mother used to call me Squirrely because I was just so cagey and uncontained and a little annoying.
Squirrely, that's cool. Now, how did you take that when you were a kid, though?
She still calls me that. I mean, even today, now when we, have sit down and have lunch, she still kind of slips in and calls me Squirrely, and I'm okay with it.
Oh, awesome. Because a lot of people don't like their childhood nicknames. Yeah.
This one's all right. I'm okay with it.
That's cool. All right, let's go on to question 3.
Question 3.
Who was your first celebrity crush?
Davy Jones.
Oh man, are we talking about from the Monkees?
Jones, the Monkees. Yes, I used to watch their show. I suppose it was in reruns then, but Davy Jones was just the cutest, sweetest thing I'd ever seen, and I loved him.
You and millions more, I'm sure.
It's true. I did a whole episode about it because he actually denied me a handshake once.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I heard a tragic Davy Jones story.
Is that in one of your podcasts?
It is, yeah. It's kind of a long story, but it's sad now because he's no longer with us.
Yeah,
nonetheless.
But it's still interesting. And now we've all got to go back into our catalog, guys. All right. Question 4.
Question 4.
I still love those. I don't know why. I don't know why. All right. If you could travel back in time, what period would you go into?
Oh, the 20s in Paris
Oh,
with Ernest Hemingway and
no.
Gertrude Stein and
No. I'm sorry.
oh, that's it. That's my time right there.
Well, the judges were looking for the 60s, of course.
No,
Free
no,
love.
No,
Oh.
no. I mean, they're fine, but what I like is just that creative boost that came out of the 20s where you've got so many great writers who are just starting to find their voices.
Yes.
Or there's this unbridled creativity that's coming from out of nowhere. Oh, the 20s. The 20s.
So many fedoras. Yes, I was just going to say, so many fedoras, so many pants pulled up way past their limit.
But it's beautiful and classic and respectful, and you just to be in Paris.
I'm not arguing with you. I actually think it would have been cool myself. All right, let's wrap this up.
All right.
Final question.
Oh, these are always the toughest for me to come up with. Or I'm sorry, the judges to come up with. Who has it easier, men or women?
Oh, women.
No, our pets.
Absolutely. I don't believe that women harness their true potential the way that they should, and I'm sure I will get dinged for this, but
No.
Folks, a whole lot of power that I don't think people are harnessing properly.
I hear you loud and clear. I couldn't agree more. But the judges are the judges, and they said our family pets. They have it easiest. Who wouldn't want to have the life of a dog? Am I right? All right, Julie. See, you got through it, and you did really well. I think it was. I'm going to say 3.5 out of 5.
Wow.
Yeah, very good. You was? My sound effect is too loud. What did you say?
I said I didn't cry. It's all good.
You didn't cry, and nobody got hurt. That's the important thing.
Nobody got hurt. No. I didn't swear or curse anybody out, so we're good.
Well, I'm happy. 'Cause I would have been the obvious target. Well, thanks so much for coming on, Juliette. I so appreciate it. Thanks to David as well for finally getting you on, and I couldn't have asked for a better evening.
Of course, I'm so happy to finally be talking to you, face to face, so to speak. This is amazing. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, you're welcome. We'll have you back on, I'm sure. Hope. Yeah, because as soon as I start watching more of your videos and listening to more of your podcasts, I'm going to have more questions.
Oh, you'll have more.
Absolutely. All right. Well, you guys have a good evening, and we'll get you on real soon again. Sound good?
All right. Cheers, y'all.
Cheers to you. It's over. Did you enjoy that show? Hey, listen, if you want a guest cut just like this, all you've got to do is come on the show. It's as simple as subscribing, ringing that bell, and then watching it. The instructions are right there at the head of every show. You know you want to come on. You know you want a guest cut. You know you want to tell your story. You don't have interviewers beating down your door. So join us at the video call-in show. We'll see you live.